It's a misconception. They think that wealth comes from doing something big, picking the right stock, starting the right business, inheriting the right money, catching the right break. People are watching for the big move, the dramatic decision, the lucky moment that will change their financial life. And they're watching in the wrong direction. Because wealth doesn't come from a big move. Wealth comes from 1,000 small ones, done quietly, every single day for decades. You see, the people who actually have money, not the people who look like they have money, but the people who actually have it, share a set of habits that are almost embarrassingly quiet. None of these habits would make a good news story. None of them would sell a book. None of them feel like the answer when somebody first hears them. They are too small, too slow, too unimpressive. But here's the truth. The quiet habits are doing the work. While other people are looking for the big move, the quietly wealthy are running these habits day after day, year after year, decade after decade. And the compounding of those habits is what produces the bank account that everybody else is trying to figure out. Today, I want to walk you through 10 of them. 10 quiet habits that, if you install them in your life and run them for 10 or 20 years, will produce a financial outcome you wouldn't have believed was available to you. Not by doing anything heroic, just by doing the small things every single day, the way the quietly wealthy have been doing them all along. Most of these are going to sound too simple to matter. That feeling is the trap. The simplicity is exactly why they work. Now, before we get into the list, you have to understand why the quiet habits beat the loud ones. Because most people, when they think about money, are looking for the loud answer, the home run, the deal of a lifetime. The thing that, if it works out, will change everything. And here's the truth. The loud answers almost never work. The home run usually doesn't connect. The deal of a lifetime turns out to be the deal of somebody else's lifetime, not yours. The big bet, more often than not, loses. And the person who staked their financial future on the big bet ends up worse off than the person who never made any bets at all. You see, the math of the loud move is brutal. The upside has to be enormous to compensate for how often it fails. And almost nobody actually gets the enormous upside. Most people get the failure. The lottery is a tax on people who believe in loud answers. But the quiet habits don't depend on any single move working. They depend on small actions, repeated over time. Pay yourself 10% of every paycheck. Wait 2 days before any large purchase. Track every dollar that comes in and goes out. None of these are exciting. None of them will make you rich next month. But they will, with mathematical certainty, change your financial position over years. And the reason they work is that they are not dependent on you being lucky. They are dependent on you being consistent. Consistency is something you can choose. Luck is something you wait for. The quietly wealthy understand this in the bones, while everybody else is still waiting for their break. You must accept the math before you can use it. The math says small inputs multiplied by time produce large outputs. And the only thing the math requires from you is that the inputs keep happening. They don't have to be impressive. They don't have to be dramatic. They have to be there every single day, every single payday, every single year for a long time. And if you can do that, the math handles the rest. You don't have to be clever. You don't have to be lucky. You don't have to outsmart anybody. You just have to keep running the quiet habits while everybody around you is still hunting for the loud answer. They never find it. You never need it. The math takes care of you. Today, 10 habits. Run them for 20 years. Watch what happens. Number 1, you must pay yourself first before you pay your bills, before you spend on anything else, before you do anything with the paycheck that just landed. A percentage of it, and 10% is a good starting point, goes into a savings or investment account that you don't touch. This sounds simple, almost too simple to be the most important wealth habit, but it is. It is the foundation that every other habit on this list builds on. Because if you don't pay yourself first, every other dollar in your life is already promised to somebody else. The landlord, the bills, the food, the wants, the small daily indulgences. And whatever is left at the end of the month, which is almost always nothing, is what you save. Except you didn't save because there wasn't any left. Here's the truth. The order matters more than the amount. 10% paid before anything else is more powerful than 50% saved from what's left, because what's left is always zero. The quietly wealthy understand that the first dollar of any income is theirs to keep. The last dollar belongs to whoever asks for it loudest. You see, this habit also rewires how you think about money. When you pay yourself first, you start to feel like the money you earn is actually yours. When you pay everybody else first, you start to feel like a conduit. Money comes in, money goes out, and you never see any of it. The first version produces an owner. The second produces a worker bee. The fix is mechanical. You set up an automatic transfer the day the paycheck arrives. 10% of every paycheck moves before you can touch it into a separate account. You forget that account exists. You don't check it, you don't borrow from it, you just let the deposits accumulate. And after 1 year, you have 10% of your annual income sitting in an account that didn't exist before. After 5 years, you have half a year of income. After 10 years, you have a year of income. After 20 years, with even modest investment growth, you have something approaching financial independence. All from one habit. Automated, quiet, boring, running in the background of every paycheck you ever receive. Most people will never install this habit because it feels too small to start. You must install it anyway. The quiet wealth that follows is exactly the size of the consistency you bring to it. Next, keep a running record of every dollar that comes in and goes out. Not in your head, on paper, or in a simple file. Updated weekly, looked at monthly, reviewed honestly, in cold light when there is nobody else around. You see, most people don't actually know where their money goes. They know roughly. They have a sense. But if you sat them down and asked them to tell you to the dollar what they spent on food last month, or on entertainment, or on subscriptions and small monthly charges, they couldn't tell you. They are guessing, and guessing is what keeps them broke. Because the dollars you can't account for are the dollars that quietly leave. The $5 charges that come out every month and never get noticed. The eating out that adds up to $400 but feels like $60. The small impulses that over a year amount to thousands you never decided to spend. Here's the truth. The act of writing down every dollar, not for a month, not for a year, but forever, changes your relationship with money in a way nothing else does. Because you can't keep doing wasteful things. If you are watching yourself, do them. In writing on a record, you can read back. The watching by itself is what changes the behavior. You don't need willpower. You don't need restrictions. You don't need a budget you'll never follow. You just need to see every week exactly where your money went. And the seeing produces the adjustment automatically without you having to fight yourself. The quietly wealthy track. Not because they are obsessive, because they understand that what you don't measure, you can't manage. And what you can't manage, manages you. So they put a small effort every week into knowing exactly where their dollars are going. And the small effort returns a lifetime of clarity. The way you do this is unimportant. A notebook, a spreadsheet, an old envelope with handwritten totals. The medium doesn't matter. The habit does. Once a week, sit down. Write down what you earned this week. Write down what you spent. Write down where it went. Look at the numbers honestly. Do that for the rest of your life. By year 5, you will have a financial life you actually understand. By year 10, you will have made 1,000 small course corrections that produced a financial position the untracking version of you would never have reached. The watching is the entire mechanism. Next, you got to live below your visible means. This is the habit that separates people who appear wealthy from people who actually are wealthy. The two groups in real life almost never overlap. The person whose lifestyle screams money is statistically drowning in payments. The person whose lifestyle says nothing is the one with the bank account. You see, every increase in income produces a fork in the road. You can spend the new income and feel richer for a month, or you can keep your living costs steady and put the difference into savings, investments, and freedom. The fork looks small in the moment. Over a career, it produces enormous divergences. The person who got a raise and immediately rented a bigger apartment, leased a nicer car, ate at more expensive restaurants. That person, after 20 years of doing that with every raise, has a bigger apartment, a nicer car, more restaurant meals, and the same anxiety about money they had at the start. The person who got the same raise and kept their lifestyle steady, kept the cheaper apartment, the older car, the home-cooked meals, has, after 20 years, accumulated a meaningful sum of money. They look the same as the first person. To outside observers, you can't tell which is which, but one of them is wealthy and the other is one bad month away from disaster. Here's the truth. The visible means is a trap. Most people aim their spending at what they think their income allows. The quietly wealthy aim their spending at what they actually need, and let the gap between need and income become their freedom over time. You don't have to live in poverty. You have to live without trying to signal your income. You drive a car that runs, not a car that announces. You rent or buy a place that fits, not a place that impresses. You eat well, but not theatrically. You dress well, but not loudly. And the gap between what you could spend and what you do spend goes every month into the accounts that produce real wealth. By year 5, the gap is meaningful. By year 10, it's significant. By year 20, it's the difference between freedom and obligation. The visible person spent it on the appearance of wealth. The quiet person had the wealth itself. Next, you have to wait before you buy. Not for everything. The small daily things are fine to handle in real time, but for any purchase above a certain threshold, and the number depends on your income, but somewhere between $50 and $500 is a reasonable starting point. You wait. 48 hours, 72 for larger items, a week for anything significant. The waiting is the entire habit. You see the thing you want, you consider buying it, you don't buy it. You go home, you sleep on it. You come back to the decision the next day with the impulse cooled down and decide whether you still want it. Here's the truth. A large percentage of the things you want in the moment, you stop wanting 48 hours later. The desire was generated by the moment, by the marketing, by the situation, by a mood that has passed by the time you've had a chance to sit with the decision. And the purchase, made in the cooler version of your mind, never happens. That is, money saved quietly, without restriction, without a budget, just by waiting. The waiting does the work that no budget could do, because budgets feel like restrictions and people fight them. The waiting doesn't feel like restriction. It feels like you're being thoughtful. And being thoughtful is something almost nobody objects to in themselves. You see, the impulse purchases are the leak in most people's financial life, not the big planned expenses. Those they tend to plan for. The leak is the small to medium impulse. Buy that, accumulated, runs into thousands per year. The waiting habit closes the leak without any willpower, without any sacrifice you can feel. And by the time you've been doing this for a few years, your relationship with desire is different. You can sit with wanting something without immediately acting on it. The wanting becomes information, not a command. And information you can think about is information you can choose what to do with. The quietly wealthy wait, not because they are tight, because they have learned that the version of them that decides in the moment is not the version of them whose money it actually is. The later version has different priorities. The later version is the one they consult before they spend. Next, drop the habit of spending money to impress people who, fundamentally, don't care about you. This is the biggest leak in modern financial life, and almost nobody admits to themselves they are doing it. You see, a huge percentage of what most people buy is not for them. It is for the version of them that exists in other people's minds. The car is to be seen driving the car. The clothes are to be seen wearing the clothes. The vacation is to be talked about. The dinner is to be mentioned. The house is to impress the people who visit it. You must understand the asymmetry. And here's the truth. The people you're trying to impress aren't actually paying as much attention as you think. They are too busy worrying about how their own life looks to spend much time evaluating yours. The whole spectacle is happening in your head, paid for in dollars that could have been doing real work in your actual life. The handful of people in your life who do actually pay attention to you, your family, your closest friends, the people who genuinely care about you, those people don't need to be impressed. They love you regardless of the car, the clothes, the dinner. The impressing is for the audience that is not actually watching. So, the money is being spent on a performance that has no spectators. You must catch yourself when this is happening. When you are deciding whether to buy something, ask the honest question, would I want this if no one would ever see me with it? If the answer is no, you are about to spend money on the performance, not the thing. The quietly wealthy stop doing this very early. Some of them never did it. Others did it for a while, realized they were broke at the end of every month, and traced the brokenness back to the performance. So they stopped performing. They started spending only on what they actually wanted for themselves. And the freedom that came from stopping was bigger than any of the things they had been buying, because they were no longer working to fund a show that nobody was watching. They were working to fund their actual life. And the difference was enormous in their bank account and in their peace. Next, You got to negotiate every recurring expense in your life once a year. Every subscription, every insurance policy, every monthly bill, every contract, every service. Once a year, you sit down, list them all, and either renegotiate them or cancel them. This habit takes one afternoon, maybe two, once a year, and it produces savings that, over a decade, run into tens of thousands of dollars for nothing more than the willingness to make a few phone calls and ask a few uncomfortable questions. Here's the truth. Most companies count on you not asking. The price you pay for your insurance, your phone, your internet, your cable, your utilities, your subscriptions, almost none of it is the lowest price available to you. It is the price you have been paying because you haven't called. The call is short. You ask for a better rate. You mention that you are considering switching. You ask what they can do. About half the time they offer you something. The other half, you have the information you need to actually switch. Either way, you have done something with your bill that the previous version of you was never doing. You see, the quietly wealthy aren't paying less because they are special customers. They are paying less because they ask every year without embarrassment, without apology, because they understand the price on the bill is a starting point, not a final number. And the difference between starting and final, paid every month, becomes meaningful money. The subscriptions are the same. Most people have a layer of small monthly charges they signed up for 2 years ago and never cancel. $5 here, $12 there. 3 of those, 2 of these. Over a year, hundreds of dollars going to services they no longer use or never really wanted. Once a year, you must list every subscription you are paying. You ask, honestly, whether you actually use each one. The ones you don't use, you cancel that day, right there, in one sitting. No more polite avoidance. No more telling yourself you'll cancel later. Do that every year for 20 years, and the cumulative savings are enormous. Not from one big move, from dozens of small, deliberate adjustments made consistently every 12 months, while everybody else just keeps paying whatever the bills say. The asking is free. The not asking is what costs you. Next. You must invest steadily every single month, regardless of how you feel about the market, the economy, the world, or your job. The investing is the habit. The amount can be small. The consistency is the entire game. You see, most people invest based on their emotions. When the market is up and they are feeling optimistic, they pour money in. When the market is down and they are feeling scared, they pull money out. Or they wait to start until things settle down. Or they wait to start until they have more disposable income. And here's the truth. The emotion-driven investor is the worst investor in the room. They buy high, they sell low. They miss the recoveries by sitting on the sidelines waiting to feel better. Their emotions cost them most of the returns they would have otherwise earned. The quietly wealthy invest like robots, every month. Same day, same amount, same accounts. Regardless of whether the market just dropped 20% or just hit an all-time high. Regardless of whether they feel rich or worried. The amount is set. The schedule is set. The investing happens. In over 20 or 30 years, that mechanical, emotionless habit outperforms almost everything else you could have done with the same money, because the markets over long periods of time go up. And the person who was investing during the down years bought a lot of shares cheap. And the person who waited to invest until things felt safe bought all their shares expensive. I am telling you, the simplest way to outperform almost every active investor in the world is to take a small amount of money every month, put it into a broad index fund, and never look at the account except once a year to make sure the deposits are still happening. That's it. That is the strategy. It works because it removes emotion from the equation. Emotion is what destroys most people's returns. Remove the emotion and the math does the rest. The market goes up and down and up again, and your steady deposits accumulate. And at year 20, you have a sum of money that your active trader friends who tried to time the market and outsmart it never produced. The quietness of this habit is what makes it work. There is nothing to talk about, nothing to brag about, nothing impressive happening month to month, just the deposits, forever, year after year after year. Next. You have to build real relationships with people who are doing better than you, financially. This is the habit most people resist the hardest because it feels uncomfortable to be the least wealthy person in the room. But the discomfort is the cost of admission, and the price is worth paying. You see, your financial reality is largely shaped by what you believe is normal. What you believe is normal is largely shaped by who you spend your time with. If you spend all your time with people in roughly the same financial position as you, that position will feel like the ceiling. You won't push past it because nothing in your social world is pushing you past it. But if you spend even some of your time with people who are operating at a higher financial level, your sense of what is normal expands. Things you would never have considered start to feel possible. Approaches you would never have learned start to be visible. Conversations you would never have had start to happen. And your trajectory bends slowly in the direction of the new normal. Let me tell you about somebody. I once knew a man who, at 35 years old, realized something unsettling about his life. His 5 closest friends all made roughly the same amount of money he did, within 10 or 15%. They had been friends since their 20s. They had similar jobs, similar lifestyles, similar incomes. And he realized that was not a coincidence. That was the architecture of his entire financial life. He was making what he was making because the people around him were making what they were making. The whole social circle was acting as a financial ceiling, even though no one had ever explicitly designed it that way. So he decided to do something deliberate. He committed every year for the next 10 years to add one new person to his life who was further along than he was, not to use them, not to network them, just to genuinely build a relationship with somebody who was operating financially at a higher level and learn from them, naturally, by being in their company. Some of those relationships didn't take. Some did. Over the years, he ended up with 3 or 4 new friendships with people whose financial lives were genuinely different from his. He kept his old friends. He didn't replace anybody. He just expanded the circle. And here's what happened. The way he thought about money started to change. He started seeing options he had never considered. Investments, side businesses, career moves, income structures. None of his new friends were preaching at him. They were just talking about their lives. And in their lives, things were possible that he hadn't realized were possible. By year 12, his income had quadrupled. Not because any specific friend gave him any specific advice, because the entire mental field he was operating in had shifted. The new normal was different, and he had risen slowly and almost involuntarily to meet it. He told me, years later, that the deliberate expansion of his social circle was the single most consequential decision he had ever made about money. Not a stock pick, not a deal, not a business move. Just the slow, deliberate, sometimes uncomfortable choice to be the least wealthy person in some of the rooms he walked into. You don't rise above the average of the 5 people closest to you. You must be deliberate about who those 5 people are. The math will do the rest. Next. Learn one new income-relevant skill every year. Not for fun, not for general enrichment. Specifically a skill that, if added to what you already do, makes you more valuable in the market. You see, most people stop learning the day they leave school. They become a fixed skill set. They get good at their job, and then they coast on that skill for the next 30 years, hoping their raises will keep pace with inflation. Sometimes they do, often they don't. And the worker who hasn't added a new skill in 15 years is the worker who, when the economy shifts, is the first to be cut and the slowest to be rehired. The quietly wealthy never stop learning income-relevant skills. They are deliberate about it. Every year they pick one skill, something that complements what they already do, and they spend the year getting better at it. By the end of the year, they can do something that 12 months earlier, they could not. Here's the truth. Skills stack. The person who has 2 complementary skills is worth more than the sum of the parts. The person who has 3 is worth significantly more than that. By the time you have 4 or 5 complementary skills, all sharpened through deliberate annual practice, you are operating in a category that has very few other people in it. And the market pays for that kind of rarity, not in linear increments, in multiples. The person with the rare skill stack can charge what they want, work where they want, set terms most people cannot dream of. And they got there not by being smarter than anybody, by being more deliberate over a longer period of time. The skill you pick each year doesn't have to be huge. It can be a software your industry uses, but you've avoided. It can be a language relevant to your customers. It can be a communication skill you've been weak on. It can be writing, or speaking, or analysis, or negotiation. Pick one. Work on it for the year. Don't try to get great at it in 3 months. Spread the effort across 12. Read about it. Practice it. Find somebody who does it well and learn from them. By the end of the year, the skill is yours. Then pick the next one. Forever. Next. You must protect your reputation like it is the largest asset you will ever own. Because it is. Your reputation is the only piece of wealth that takes a lifetime to build and a single bad decision to destroy. And the people who understand this protect it accordingly. You see, the quietly wealthy are usually not the most charismatic person in the room. They are not the loudest. They are not the most exciting. But they are, almost always, the most reliable. They do what they say they will do. They pay what they owe. They show up when they say they will show up. They tell the truth even when the truth is uncomfortable. They do not gossip. They do not betray confidences. They do not take shortcuts that compromise their word. And the cumulative effect of those quiet behaviors over decades is that they become the person other people want to do business with, the person other people want to refer, the person other people trust with opportunities, money, partnerships, leadership. Here's the truth. The opportunities that produce real wealth almost never come from cold outreach or generic application. They come from referrals, from the phone call that says, I know somebody who is good at this and who will do what they say they'll do. Your reputation is what gets you on that list. And the list is what produces the opportunities that change everything. You build the reputation in pieces by keeping every small promise, by delivering on every commitment, even the small ones, by telling the truth in low-stakes situations so that you have credibility in the high-stakes ones, by not cutting corners that you think nobody is watching. Because somebody is always watching, even when you think they aren't. And you protect the reputation by being careful with every interaction. You don't burn bridges. You don't speak badly about people behind their backs. You don't get into petty arguments that follow you for years. You handle disagreements directly, privately, professionally. You leave every relationship, even the ones that didn't work out, in a place where the other person would speak well of you if asked. You must protect that reputation through every interaction. Do that for 30 years, and you have an asset that no investment can produce, a name that opens doors, a reputation that does work for you, even when you're not in the room. And the quiet wealth that follows is exactly the size of the reputation you've quietly built. So here's what I want you to carry with you. 10 quiet habits. None of them are dramatic. None of them would make a good story. All of them have been running in the lives of quietly wealthy people for decades, while everybody else was looking for the loud answer. Pay yourself first. Keep a running record of every dollar. Live below your visible means. Wait before you buy. Stop spending to impress people who don't care. Negotiate every recurring expense once a year. Invest steadily, regardless of how you feel. Build relationships with people doing better than you. Learn one new income-relevant skill every year. Protect your reputation like it's your largest asset. That is the whole list. Nothing in there requires you to be smarter than anybody. Nothing requires luck. Nothing requires a windfall. The only thing required is consistency over years, while most of the people around you are still hunting for the loud answer that almost never comes. Listen, you must take this seriously. Pick 3 of these to start, the 3 that hit you hardest when you heard them. Install them slowly and deliberately into your life over the next 90 days. Then come back in 3 months and pick 3 more. By the end of a year, you will be running half this list. By the end of 3 years, all of it. And by the end of 10 years, the financial position you are in won't look anything like the position you started from. Not because anything dramatic happened. Because every single day for 10 years, the small habits were quietly accumulating into something bigger than anybody around you could see. Because the small things done quietly every single day were doing their work the entire time. I am telling you, this is how it actually happens. Not in the way most people think. Not by the move that changes everything. By the dozen small habits that run together over years, quietly compound into a financial life nobody else can figure out how to copy. They look at you and see luck. They see good timing. They see things they would not see if they had been watching the small daily actions for 10 years. You will know what they don't. You will know that there was no luck. There was no break. There was only the quiet habits run with discipline, while the rest of the world was still looking for the loud answer. The loud answer was never coming. The quiet ones were always the way. They still are. inside you, there is a version of yourself you were always meant to become. Maybe you've felt them occasionally, in a quiet moment, in the middle of a long drive, when you're alone for the first time in weeks. There's a different person you can almost see, the one who would be living the life you keep telling yourself you'll get to someday. And here's the truth. That version of you isn't far away. They're not impossible. They're not reserved for somebody more talented than you. The only thing standing between you and them is a specific set of things you are doing every single day that quietly prevents you from becoming them. Most people never identify those things. They just feel stuck. They keep working hard, keep trying, keep waiting for the version of themselves they sense underneath everything to finally arrive. And the version doesn't arrive, not because they aren't trying. Because the trying is happening on top of a layer of habits and beliefs that quietly cancel it out. Today, I want to walk you through 10 of those things. 10 specific obstacles between who you are and who you were meant to become. Each of them sounds small. None of them are. And almost all of them are running in your life right now without you noticing. Because they've been there so long, they feel like just how things are. By the end of tonight, you'll see them. And once you see them, you'll know what's been getting in the way. The becoming. Once the obstacles are cleared, happens almost on its own. The version of you that you were meant to be has been waiting underneath these 10 things. Clear them, and that version starts coming into view. Now, before we get into the list, you have to understand what these obstacles are actually costing you. Because most people don't think of them as costing anything. They think of them as just how they are. The cost is invisible because the becoming that's being prevented never happens. And you can't miss something you never had. I am telling you, the cost is the gap between who you are and who you could be. And that gap over a lifetime becomes the difference between the life you actually live and the life that was available to you all along. You see, every person walks around with a sense of who they could be. It might be quiet, it might be buried, but it's there. And every single day, the gap between who you are and who you could be either narrows because you've taken some action toward becoming, or widens because you've spent another day with the obstacles still running. There is no neutral. There is no holding pattern. You're either becoming or you're regressing. The middle doesn't exist. And the regression isn't dramatic. That's why most people don't see it. You don't suddenly become less. You quietly stay the same while the world changes around you. The people on different trajectories pull further ahead. The opportunities you would have caught at 30 pass you at 40 because you weren't the person who could catch them. By 50, you've accumulated enough years of staying the same that you've started to believe that's just who you are. You must take this seriously because the cost compounds. Every year you don't clear the obstacles is a year you spend further away from who you were meant to become. And after enough years, the distance becomes too large to bridge. Not because the bridging was impossible, because the version of you who could have done it gave up trying somewhere along the way. This is not about being hard on yourself. It is about being honest about what's actually happening. You aren't stuck because you lack potential. You're stuck because there are 10 specific things doing the sticking. Identify them. Clear them. The potential takes care of itself. Listen, today, 10 things. Some of them you'll recognize immediately. Some of them you'll resist. The resistance is information. The ones you resist hardest are usually the ones doing the most damage. Stay with each of them. By the end of this list, you'll know which ones are most yours. And then you can start clearing them one at a time until the becoming finally has room to happen. Number one, you must stop comparing yourself to people on different paths. This is the single most exhausting habit most ambitious adults run, and almost none of them realize how much energy it takes from them. You see somebody who has something you want, and instead of using their example as information, you use it as a measuring stick against yourself. And you always come up short because they're on a different path than you. Here's the truth. The comparison is meaningless. You don't know their starting point. You don't know what they sacrificed to get there. You don't know what they're missing that you have. You see one slice of their life, usually the most polished slice, and you compare it to your whole life, including all the parts nobody else sees. The math is rigged before it begins. Your messy reality is being measured against their curated highlight. You will always lose that comparison, and the losing will quietly drain energy from the work that would have actually moved you forward. You see, the only meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you were a year ago or 5 years ago. Are you better than you were? Are you more capable? Are you closer to who you want to be? That comparison is fair because both versions are on the same path, your path. The comparison to other people on other paths is just noise that costs you. The fix is to redirect the comparing energy. When you notice yourself starting to measure against somebody else, stop. Ask yourself a different question. What about my own path do I want to advance this year? What did I do last year that I want to build on? What did I fail at that I want to address? Those are the questions that produce growth. The questions about other people's lives produce nothing but the slow erosion of your self-image. Every comparison is a small theft from your own becoming. And over years of comparing, you've been robbed of a meaningful amount of the energy that should have been going into your own path. Stop the theft. Run your own race. The only legitimate measure of progress is the distance between who you were and who you're becoming. Next, stop believing the story your past tells about you, because your past is data, not identity. The things you did, the way you behaved, the patterns you ran, those are records of who you were, not predictions of who you are or who you'll be. You see, most people walk around with a fixed narrative about themselves, built from selected memories. They tell themselves things like, I've always been bad at this. I always procrastinate. I always pick the wrong people. I always fall short at the end. The word always is the giveaway. It signals that you've turned a collection of past data into a permanent identity. And here's the truth. The past doesn't have to be the future. The patterns you ran when you were younger, less aware, less developed, those patterns aren't sealed in. They're just patterns. They can be broken. They can be replaced. They have been broken and replaced by countless people in worse situations than yours. But you cannot break a pattern you're insisting is who you are. The insistence keeps the pattern alive. Every time you say, that's just how I am, you reinforce the very thing you're trying to change. The story becomes the structure. The structure produces the behavior. The behavior confirms the story. You got to drop the fixed narrative about yourself. Treat your past as evidence of what was possible under the conditions you were operating in then. Treat your future as a separate question. With different conditions, you get to influence. The two are connected, but not identical. And the connection runs through your current actions, not through some essential nature that doesn't actually exist. You've got to change the language. The grammar matters. The grammar shapes the identity. The identity shapes the actions. The actions, over time, change the past you used to be defined by. Next, you got to stop outsourcing your judgment to other people. This is the habit of letting somebody else's opinion about what you can do, what's reasonable, what's possible, become the ceiling for your own actions. And once you've outsourced your judgment, you can never become more than the person whose judgment you outsourced to. You see, every important decision in your life requires judgment. Should I take this risk? Is this opportunity worth pursuing? Am I ready for this? Should I trust this person? Is this idea any good? The answer to those questions are yours to figure out. Nobody else has the information about your life that you have. Nobody else carries the consequences the way you carry them. But most people, when those questions come up, defer to somebody else. Their spouse, their parents, their friends, their boss. The conventional wisdom, the expert opinion, anybody whose answer might absolve them of having to come up with their own. And every single day they defer, they lose practice at using their own judgment. The capacity atrophies. By the time they're 40, they couldn't make a major decision without external validation if their life depended on it. Here's the truth. The capacity to make judgment calls is the most important capacity a developing adult can build. Without it, you're a leaf in the wind of other people's opinions. With it, you can navigate any situation, weigh any choice, decide for yourself what's right. And the only way to build the capacity is to practice it often, including when you're not sure, including when the call is wrong sometimes. You must start making more decisions yourself. Take input from people you trust. But you cannot delegate the final call. The final call is yours. Even when it would be easier to let somebody else make it, even when you're scared of being wrong, the judgment is yours to develop, and it only develops through use. Over years of using your own judgment, you become somebody whose judgment can be trusted by you. And that trust, your trust in your own ability to figure out hard questions, is the foundation of every other capacity you might build. Without it, you're permanently dependent. With it, you become the kind of person who can make decisions about who you want to become, which is the entire point. Next, you have to stop treating fear as a stop sign, because fear, for most adults, has become the automatic reason to turn back. Something scares you, you avoid it. The avoiding feels like wisdom. But the avoiding, over decades, has shrunk your life into a small set of things you can do without feeling afraid. And here's the truth. The version of you that you were meant to become resides on the other side of fear, not on the safe side of it. Every meaningful step toward who you could be involves something that scares you. Speaking up, making a hard decision, taking a risk, having a difficult conversation, putting yourself in a situation where you might fail visibly. All of it's scary. All of it where the becoming actually happens. You see, fear isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that you're at an edge. The edge of who you've been and who you could become. The edge is uncomfortable because you don't know what's on the other side. But the other side is where the new version of you exists. And the only way to get there is through the discomfort, not around it. The fix is to reframe what fear means to you. Instead of treating it as a stop sign, treat it as a signal that you're at the edge of growth, a signal that this is exactly the kind of thing you need to do more of, not less. Fear, used right, is a guide to where your growth lives. Avoided, it becomes the wall around your smaller life. You don't have to chase fear recklessly. You don't have to do every scary thing just because it scares you. But when fear shows up in connection with something you actually want, when you're afraid of asking, afraid of starting, afraid of trying, that's the fear you must walk toward. That fear is pointing at growth. The avoidance is pointing at the smaller life. Over years of walking toward your fears, instead of away from them, you become somebody whose life is much larger than it would otherwise have been, because every fear you walk toward turned into a new capacity. And every fear you avoided stayed as a fence around a life that kept shrinking year by year, decade by decade. Next, stop confusing comfort with safety, because they're not the same thing. The comfortable life is not the safe life. The comfortable life is the most dangerous life you can live, because comfort over years atrophies every capacity that would have produced anything different. You see, when you're comfortable, you stop pushing. When you stop pushing, your edges round off. The skills that needed sharpening go dull. The relationships that needed work go neglected. The work you should have done gets put off, because the comfort makes the putting off feel okay. And here's the truth. Comfort is safe in the short term. Nothing bad happens this week. But comfort is catastrophic in the long term, because the version of you that comfort produces is not equipped to handle the changes that life is going to bring anyway. The comfortable person hasn't built the muscle. When life eventually demands something hard of them, they crumble. The safe life is the one that includes regular doses of discomfort. Chosen discomfort, deliberate discomfort, the kind that builds capacity. The hard conversations, the challenging projects, the new skills you're bad at when you start, the relationships that require effort, the risks that might fail. Every chosen discomfort, taken on willingly, builds the muscle that allows you to handle the inevitable discomforts that life sends. And after years of choosing discomfort, you become somebody who can handle whatever comes. The comfortable person, on the other hand, became somebody who falls apart when anything stops being easy. You must rewire what you call safe. The truly safe life is the one where you have built capacity. The capacity comes from choosing discomfort. So when you feel yourself reaching for the comfortable option, the easy choice, the familiar pattern, the path of least resistance, pause. Ask whether you're choosing safety or choosing avoidance. They almost never overlap. Choose the harder option deliberately, often. The capacity that follows is the actual safety. The comfort was the illusion of safety the whole time. Next, you got to stop hiding your real ambitions from yourself, because somewhere inside you, you know what you actually want. The full version, the big version, the one you have not been letting yourself fully think about, because thinking about it would force you to take it seriously. And taking it seriously would force you to face the gap between where you are and where you would have to go. You see, most adults have done a quiet thing with their ambitions over the years. They've shrunk them. They started in their 20s, wanting bigger things. Then they got scared or got tired or got busy, and they made the ambition smaller, then smaller, then smaller. Until eventually, the ambitions they tell themselves they have are barely worth pursuing, and even those they struggle to pursue. The bigger ambitions never went away. They just got hidden, buried under the smaller, more reasonable versions. And the buried ambitions live underneath everything, quietly producing a sense that something is missing. You know it's missing. You just haven't been letting yourself say it out loud. Here's the truth. You have to unbury what you actually want. The big version. Not the reasonable version, not the achievable version. The version that scares you a little when you say it. That version is the one your soul has been waiting to hear you acknowledge. This isn't an exercise in fantasy. It's an exercise in honesty. The big ambition might be unrealistic by some measure. It might not happen exactly as you imagine, but it's still the truth of what you want. And you can't become who you were meant to be while pretending you want less than you actually want. The pretending has been the obstacle. The honesty is the way through. Write the big ambition down tonight on a piece of paper. Look at it. Sit with it. Don't show it to anybody yet. Don't make it a plan yet. Just acknowledge it. The acknowledgement by itself changes something. The ambition has been hiding. Once you've named it, it's no longer hiding. And once it's no longer hiding, you can finally start making decisions in relation to it, instead of in avoidance of it. Next, you must look honestly at the people around you and ask whether they know the version of you that you're trying to become, or only the version of you that you've been. Because the people who only know who you've been will quietly keep that version alive, without meaning to, without realizing it, just by being who they are around you. Let me tell you about a woman I once knew. She was 35 years old when she came to me, frustrated. She had been trying to change. She had been working on herself for years. She had built new habits, read the books, done the work. And every time she felt like she was finally getting somewhere, she found herself back where she had started. She could not figure out why. The internal work was real. She was a different person on the inside than she had been 10 years ago. But on the outside, the life looked the same patterns, the same struggles, the same sense of being stuck. I asked her to describe her social life. She told me her closest friends were the ones she'd had since high school. They saw each other almost every week. They had been together through everything. They knew her better than anybody. And I asked her, when you're with them, who do they treat you as? Who do they remember you being? She thought about it. She said, they remember me from before. They tell stories about who I used to date. They joke about my old habits. They reference patterns I had 10 years ago, like those patterns are still who I am. I said, that is your problem. The new version of you is real internally. But every week, you go and spend hours with people who keep the old version of you alive, just by being who they are with you. They don't mean to. They love you. But the old version is the version they know how to relate to, and the gravitational pull of that version is what keeps bringing you back. She didn't believe me at first. She tried something, though. She took 2 weeks where she didn't see her childhood friends. She spent that time with people who had met her in the last year, people who didn't know who she used to be, people who saw only who she was now. She came back changed. She told me, I felt free in a way I have not felt for years. Those people saw me as the person I'm becoming. They didn't reference an old version. There was no gravity pulling me back. I felt, for the first time, like the new version could just exist without having to fight to stay alive against the old one. She didn't cut off her old friends. She kept them, but she shifted the weight of her social life. More time with people who saw who she was becoming. Less time with people who only knew who she had been. Within 2 years, the changes she had been trying to make for a decade were finally sticking. The internal work had been right all along. The external context had been the variable she had not adjusted. You may need to do the same thing, not dramatically, not by cutting people off, just by becoming aware of where the gravitational pull of your old self is strongest and reducing its weight in your week. The new version of you can't live full-time in rooms where the old version is the only one being remembered. Next. You have to stop settling for the version of you that's good enough. Because good enough is the most expensive plateau in adult life. Once you've decided you're good enough, at your job, at your relationships, at who you are, you stop reaching. And the reaching accumulated over years was the thing that was going to produce the becoming. You see, most adults reach a plateau in their 20s or 30s, and they settle there for the rest of their life. The plateau is comfortable. They've gotten reasonably good at what they do. Their relationships are stable. Their habits are set. There's no immediate pressure to keep growing. So they don't. And the next 40 years are spent at roughly the same plateau with minor variations until they die. And here's the truth. The plateau is not the end of growth. It's the place where growth gets harder, more deliberate, less automatic. The early growth happened on its own. You were a kid, then a young adult, becoming something just by being alive. The later growth doesn't happen by itself. You have to choose it. And most people, when faced with that choice, choose to settle. The fix is to refuse the settlement. Not aggressively, not by upending your life, by keeping one specific direction in which you are still reaching at every age. Maybe it's a skill you're still developing. Maybe it's a relationship you're still working on. Maybe it's a quality of character you're still building. Pick something. Refuse to be good enough at it. The thing you refuse to settle at is what keeps you growing. It doesn't have to be everything. It has to be something. Because as long as something is still reaching, the rest of you stays alive. As soon as nothing is reaching, the whole system goes into maintenance mode. And maintenance mode over decades looks like aging in a way most people would not have chosen if they had seen the choice clearly. You must pick the one thing. Refuse to settle at it. Keep reaching. The reaching, even in one specific area, keeps the whole becoming alive. The settlement in everything is what makes the becoming quietly end. Next. Stop saying yes to things that don't serve who you're becoming. Because every yes is a no to something else. And most adults are running calendars full of yeses that don't connect to anything they actually want. You see, saying yes feels nice in the moment. The other person is asking. The thing sounds reasonable. The cost feels small. So you say yes, and then yes again, and then yes again. By the time the week arrives, your calendar is full of obligations you said yes to without thinking. And the things that actually matter, the becoming, have no time on the schedule. I am telling you, the default yes is one of the most expensive habits an ambitious adult can run. Because the things that serve your becoming usually require space, focus, time. And the space, focus, and time get eaten by the casual yeses faster than you realize. You wake up at 50 and your becoming has been crowded out for 30 years by yeses you said in 3-minute conversations. The fix is to install a default no for low priority things. Not no to everybody, not no to important things, but a default no for anything that doesn't clearly serve who you're trying to become. The default no creates space. The space is what becoming requires. You're going to feel rude at first. You're going to worry about disappointing people. You're not going to lose them. The people who matter understand. The people who don't understand, we're going to leave eventually anyway. And the space you reclaim with the no is the space you finally have to put into things that matter. Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to your becoming. Every single day, make those no's visible to yourself. Say them clearly, not apologetically, just clearly. Then put the reclaimed time into the things that actually move you forward. Over a year, the calendar starts to look completely different. Over 5 years, the life starts to look completely different. Because the becoming finally has the space it always needed and was being denied by every small yes you said, without thinking. Next. You must stop treating your current life as proof of what you're capable of becoming. Because your current life is data about the past, not a prediction of the future. The fact that your job is small right now does not mean your future job is small. The fact that your income is modest right now does not mean your future income is modest. The fact that you haven't done the big thing yet does not mean you can't. You see, most people treat their current life as a verdict. They look at where they are and conclude, this must be what I'm capable of. The conclusion feels reasonable. It seems honest. After all, where you are now is the result of all your previous decisions. So if you're here, this must be your level. But here's the truth. Your current life is the result of who you were, not the limit of who you could be. The previous decisions were made by a previous version of you, operating with previous information, in previous conditions. The version of you who's listening to this is different, has access to different information, can make different decisions, can produce different conditions. The trap of treating your current life as a verdict is that you stop trying for more because you've concluded more isn't available to you. And once you stop trying, the verdict gets confirmed. The current life becomes permanent. The bigger life becomes impossible. Not because it was impossible, because you decided it was, based on data that wasn't actually predictive. You must drop the verdict. Your current life is information about what one version of you produced under specific conditions. Those conditions can change. That version can grow. The next decade is genuinely open. The data from the last decade does not lock it. This is not about denying reality. It is about refusing to let one snapshot of your life become the definition of all your future snapshots. The snapshot is one frame. There are thousands of frames ahead. Each of them is shaped by what you do, starting now, with whatever information you have and whatever conditions you find yourself. The becoming is still possible. The current frame is not proof against it. So here's what I want you to carry with you. 10 things that have been quietly stopping you from becoming who you were meant to be. Comparing yourself to people on different paths. Believing the story your past tells about you. Outsourcing your judgment. Treating fear as a stop sign. Confusing comfort with safety. Hiding your real ambitions. Surrounding yourself with people who only know who you were. Settling for good enough. Saying yes to things that don't serve you. Treating your current life as proof of your future. Listen, every single one of those is a habit you can change. None of them are who you are. All of them are what you've been doing without seeing it clearly. Once you see them, you can clear them. One at a time, slowly, deliberately, over years. Then here's the truth. The version of you that you were meant to become has been waiting underneath these 10 things for a long time. They're not gone. They're not lost. They're just buried under habits that have been preventing them from coming through. Clear the habits and they come through. Not all at once. Slowly, but unmistakably. Over 5 years, 10 years, the becoming finally happens. You must pick 3 of these to start, the 3 that hit hardest when you heard them. Begin clearing those 3 over the next 90 days. You cannot fix all 10 at once. Pick 3, then come back and pick 3 more, then the next 4. By the end of a year, you'll have addressed most of the list. By the end of 3 years, the version of you who exists will not look anything like the version that started. I am telling you, this is the work that matters most. More than the goals, more than the career moves, more than any specific project. The work of clearing the obstacles between you and who you were meant to be is the work that produces every other outcome you care about. Because the version of you who has cleared them is the version that can do anything else you want. Become that version, starting tonight, with one obstacle clearly seen, one habit identified for clearing, one step toward the version of you that has been waiting patiently all this time for you to finally let them come through.
I begin each day with discipline, clear purpose, integrity, and gratitude. I focus only on what I can influence, and I take deliberate action daily. I reflect, journal, and learn from each day so I improve tomorrow. I learn and teach every day, sharpening my judgment and understanding. I show up intentionally as a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. I take responsibility for the impact of my decisions on others. I train my body daily with discipline and respect for long-term health. I am becoming a capable managing director who understands business. I am building long-term financial stability through competence and integrity. I act with gratitude, humility, and a commitment to give back. I am becoming someone who does high-intensity interval training every single week. I take time to recognize what I am grateful for every day. I visualize success every day so I know what I'm moving towards. I begin each day with discipline, clear purpose, integrity, and gratitude. I focus only on what I can influence, and I take deliberate action daily. I reflect, journal, and learn from each day so I improve tomorrow. I learn and teach every day, sharpening my judgment and understanding. I show up intentionally as a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. I take responsibility for the impact of my decisions on others. I train my body daily with discipline and respect for long-term health. I am becoming a capable managing director who understands business. I am building long-term financial stability through competence and integrity. I act with gratitude, humility, and a commitment to give back. I am becoming someone who does high-intensity interval training every single week. I take time to recognize what I am grateful for every day. I visualize success every day so I know what I'm moving towards. I begin each day with discipline, clear purpose, integrity, and gratitude. I focus only on what I can influence, and I take deliberate action daily. I reflect, journal, and learn from each day so I improve tomorrow. I learn and teach every day, sharpening my judgment and understanding. I show up intentionally as a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. I take responsibility for the impact of my decisions on others. I train my body daily with discipline and respect for long-term health. I am becoming a capable managing director who understands business. I am building long-term financial stability through competence and integrity. I act with gratitude, humility, and a commitment to give back. I am becoming someone who does high-intensity interval training every single week. take time to recognize what I am grateful for every day. I visualize success every day so I know what I'm moving towards. I begin each day with discipline, clear purpose, integrity, and gratitude. I focus only on what I can influence, and I take deliberate action daily. I reflect, journal, and learn from each day so I improve tomorrow. I learn and teach every day, sharpening my judgment and understanding. I show up intentionally as a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. I take responsibility for the impact of my decisions on others. I train my body daily with discipline and respect for long-term health. I am becoming a capable managing director who understands business. I am building long-term financial stability through competence and integrity. I act with gratitude, humility, and a commitment to give back. I am becoming someone who does high-intensity interval training every single week. I take time to recognize what I am grateful for every day. I visualize success every day so I know what I'm moving towards. I begin each day with discipline, clear purpose, integrity, and gratitude. I focus only on what I can influence, and I take deliberate action daily. I reflect, journal, and learn from each day so I improve tomorrow. I learn and teach every day, sharpening my judgment and understanding. I show up intentionally as a husband, a father, a son, and a brother. I take responsibility for the impact of my decisions on others. I train my body daily with discipline and respect for long-term health. I am becoming a capable managing director who understands business. I am building long-term financial stability through competence and integrity. I act with gratitude, humility, and a commitment to give back. day 164. Better.